Hello, Dino here. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the IBM session. This was the format. If I was going to paraphrase, I would say Matt came and then Dulcie came to have a chat, talking about what keeps us up at night in our respective areas, and then everybody from IBM would then saying, this is where we think we can help. And then in the second half, we had Kathy and Pranitha from, actually wasn't group security, it was more anti-piracy. And then we had Kevin from broadcast and operations, and then Catherine from Now. Or OTT as well, I guess. So the first bit was really listening to Matt, did an amazing job giving us essentially everything you need to know about Sky and all of our problems, all within 20 minutes. I thought was brilliant. Encyclopedic knowledge about all of that stuff. In some of the more interesting ones here, I guess, there's lots of sort of cloud services that we can kind of help with, and et cetera, et cetera. Lots of sort of personalization. What about advertising? There's esports, for instance, in there as well. Nearly got through a session without the word metaverse, but popped up just at the end. Then with Dulcie's session, which was equally brilliant, we had lots of suggestions there as well. Really talking about things like, how do you define value within innovation. Obviously IBM have got a huge amount of experience there, so that's quite interesting as well. But also saying, like, when you're doing your catalyst POCs, how can you look at the future value using synthetic data, which we heard about later. But also just things like they have a bot which is all about Ask HR, and also Workday, let's say additions, which then came up later. So that was really useful. We had a very quick sort of shout out about what do we think the key themes are. So data strategy, customer 360 view, cloud modernization and mobilization, I guess, moving from one platform to another. Customer experience, the home move, how do you make sure that is dead easy? Threat modeling, especially for the anti-piracy. End of life, there was a really interesting points about how do you look at technology and its environmental impact. And then esports was sort of just tagging on the end there. For labs, it was like, how do you define value? And then it was like, okay, give us a challenge. IBM want to fix it for us. Then there was also, Workday, the employee experience was quite interesting, that point about there. And then also outside in was really about looking at experts to come in and being a great source of experts. So just being part of that. Then we had, as I mentioned very quickly before, we had Kathy and Pranitha coming from anti-piracy. So they gave a great overview of what are the challenges within anti-piracy, what our sort of remit is, etc., what's in and out of scope. Then we had Kevin on the call, again very interesting. I guess Kevin at the beginning was like, actually we have probably like real data problems right now, and then it kind of expanded into, okay, that's interesting, so let's see what synthetic data can do for me. So there's definitely something to be done there. It's more of an eye-opener there rather than probably anti-piracy was more of a we have a need right now. And then speaking at Catherine and Now, and especially with the happiness index that was kicked off a year or so ago, that is currently being built and therefore is gaining a little bit of traction within the company as well. Lots of other departments are looking at it. That was almost spot on as well. So that was really interesting. Next steps would be, okay, for Catherine, what's the art of the possible? Or should I say probably it's going to be AD, because Catherine might be having a baby soon. So then we had, so the consolidation of data as well. So we've got a lot of data sources within Sky. How can we do something with that? Is there something we can do to fill the gaps with synthetic data? Then obviously the whole fraud thing as well. So you can actually, you can demo the data of people who are trying to exploit the system. So, create anomalies, all those sorts of things. So that was super useful. Next steps really on Unreal is, okay, that sounds like that needs to be another conversation about how we can, speak to Catherine, etc., the value therefore. Working with David, I guess there. And then over here, these have been taken away as areas of next chat. So we will need to catch up on those and see where those goes next. So all of this at the moment this is really useful. Some of these are glowing red hot on the wall. They're not absolute definites, but they're definitely areas of interest. So that's where it is so far. Great, hopefully that was useful, and I will speak to you soon.